If you do want to answer, feel free to answer. If I was to ever have like some type of criteria book, psychological book, like these questions would be good questions, or like a journal therapy book. These are good questions to ask yourself. Okay, so first one, do you celebrate your wins, big and small? So I'll pause in case you do want to answer.
Oh, you say we don't have to answer these?
Yeah, you don't have to answer these.
Oh, go ahead, Kel. You got it, bro.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think I'm learning to, you know, I think I used to just really just like, even the big ones, like say, it is what it is, part of the journey. Like, man, let me do the next thing for real, for real. I'm learning now to be enjoyable. Like me celebrating my wins is not telling me to stop or to arrive, but, actually accepting the hard work I put in and knowing that if I could, do this now, the next step I could do it too. So I'm trying to do that more. I'm not trying to just overwrite things or just live life, think everything is just very nonchalant or it doesn't really matter per se. Like, somebody did it better for real. And I think that goes back to the self-care, knowing that anything you do for real, even though you're not at the place you want to be, that, you're trying hard and you're actually getting better. So it's a great thing to celebrate. So I think for me, I'm just trying to be more in tune with that and knowing that if I am celebrating and have a good time because I, did achievement, it's good to actually show that for people and also know that I don't have to stop, but I'm trying to get to the point that, you could be the masterpiece and also the work in progress too. So I'm trying to get to that place, you know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of how it is, I'm happy for it, but I'm also happy for the next step too. And I don't got to change, the grind, the progress, whatever I'm doing, if I'm just celebrating this big or small win, knowing that all of it is for a purpose and I'm still going to get better regardless how much I celebrate and how much more stuff I got to do.
Oh yeah. This year I'm all for celebrating all three. I think my whole life, I don't know, I've always been the center of just doing something good, not great. Well, I don't know. I'm just gonna say I've just been the center of accomplishing things. And I never found myself living in the moment of me accomplishing those things. And every time that I found myself not living in the moment, I didn't receive the gratification or the recognition from those institutions themselves. And I didn't show myself love. So it's like I was just like walking in the middle, not feeling anything. I just felt like, damn, am I really that good at this? Oh no, I ain't that good at this. Oh, I think I'm that good at this. I'm not that good at this. And that's not as I don't know, as a person, I don't think that's the line you need to live. I don't know. I'm just black and white. I think you either need to know that you some shit or you need to know you just straight the shit. Because if you're in the middle, you're always gonna be going back and forth. Now, if you know that you ain't shit, then you know you can always work better to, you know what I'm saying, work towards it to get better. Now, if you're just too overly cocky, then you know you need to slow down on your ego. Now, when you're in the middle, you don't know. So that's why I was kind of at like my whole life until 2020. I hit a moment where I lost everything. I didn't have no more fans. I didn't have no more people rooting for me, anything. So it was just by myself. And I needed to find a way to love myself more. So I started loving myself more. Then I started really seeing all the things that I did and realized that, like, wow, like, I'm a pretty good guy. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I get shit done. You know what I'm saying? I handle things. You know what I mean? So then I realized, like, damn, this is a year where everyone's dying. We just started a podcast. I just started a clothing brand. So now I'm scared, not only for my life, but I'm scared because I'm in the limelight as far as putting myself out there, my business is out there. And I don't know, again, if I'm that good or great, or if I'm that good or not good at all. So again, that's when I hit that mentality where I was just like, you know what, fuck it. I just hit a fucking mentality, you know what I mean? And I told Kelvin, like, look, I'm just going to learn to just celebrate life. Like, I'm going to celebrate everything that comes to me because I feel as though I deserve it. I'm not the best guy out there. I'm not a P. Diddy, but I think I'm putting in P. Diddy work ethic. I'm pretty sure we damn sure are putting in some work ethic that correlates to that. And my whole life, I always known to be a hard worker. Everything that I tapped into, even in sports, not trying to compare and contrast myself, but coaches always say, oh yeah, if when it comes to anything, I might not be the best, weightlifter, but I'm one of the hardest workers on this team, one of the hardest workers on this project, one of the hardest workers in this classroom. Whatever the case may be, I've always known to be a hard worker. So that's when I know, like, if I'm working hard, then I know I'm in the top 5 of anything, you know, and what room, what category, whatever the case may be. So I guess in this year around, I'm learning to celebrate the small wins, because 2020, we celebrate the small wins. I started to celebrate the small wins in my life. So this year, we're going to continue celebrating the small wins. And as far as the middle and big wins, I'm just going to live in the moment. You know, when it happens, when it happens, it happens. When it comes, it comes. I'm just going to make sure I remain reserved, calm, humble. And when it's just me and my nigga alone, you know what I'm saying, we're going to turn up.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
More life.
Public, you know what I'm saying? You got to maintain that. You definitely do. You know what I mean? Ego is a motherfucker. I'm trying to tell you, man. And when you let all that stuff get to you, that's when you really go wrong. So if you're going to have all that cockiness or have all that, do it in your background with your men. You know what I mean? But make sure you always hold yourself afloat and hold yourself grounded, you know, when you're in the public, because when you shit in public, like, it's over for you. Everybody gonna see it. Everybody gonna smell it at me.
That shit stink.
Oh my gosh, I just had a flashback.
It stink, yeah.
I just had a flashback to, this is so random, but.
You shit in public?
No, not me. I was on the way in New York, in Staten Island. I was on the way home, and this lady, she pulled up her dress and she shat.
Oh,
it was
hell
so disgusting.
Nah.
At the bus stop. It was so disgusting.
Oh, I guess when you gotta go, you gotta go.
That's some New York shit.
New York shit.
Yeah, that is some New York
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, B.
Yeah. So I do want to go off what you said. I do want to go off what you said earlier. When you lose people or when you lose things, that's like a good question. And this question came up for me years ago. Like, when the people that are gone who love me, you know, and when you don't have shit, you don't have anything, do you love yourself enough to sustain, you know, yourself and just get through life? Because some people, they're so attached to people in their life, family members loving them, but when you don't have anybody and they're gone, do you love yourself enough to sustain yourself? So
the problem with me was, again, I'm gonna, you know, refer to me. The problem with me was, I just never knew how good of a guy that I am, like how great of a guy that I am. Like, I've always been around other great people and other good people as well, but I always put more out. You got 2 glasses of water. You got my cup and you got other people's cup. I always find myself pouring my glass of water, that's the other people's glass of water. And it's just like their glass of water has like a circulating system that keeps replenishing themselves. And they just keep having more water add on to it. Where me, I was just emptying myself. So when I realized I lost all those people in my life, I just had to take a step back. First of all, I had to again, you know, do a reflection. Why am I losing people in my life? Is it me? What do I need to correct about myself? Because you need to hold yourself accountable and also, you know, be responsible. Because you can lose everybody, but if you're the type to just start blaming everybody, then again, how can you know when you got to love yourself or when do you need to love yourself? So I needed to figure that out first. Then I realized, like, cool, 90% of these situations is not me. You know what I mean? It's literally just the people, you know, that are around me that I was surrounding myself with. And that's when I realized that, damn, I was pouring way too much love or way too much energy into their cup versus, you know, my own cup, or, you know, they weren't replenishing me like I was replenishing them. So once I found that out, that detachment hit hard because, again, it's bored, it's Corona, you don't got nothing to do. So then I started reaching out to people that I lost my relationship with, or that I basically I isolated myself with, and they already got their own life going on. It's been 4 or 5 years now. I haven't reached out to these people. Like, these are my high school buddies. And I'm not saying I'm reaching out to them now because I'm lonely, but then that's the truth. It's like I lost all the people that I had before. Now I'm looking back and reflecting on all the people that did treat me right, that nothing went wrong. It's just, you know how relationships go, time, you know, high school, college, people just doing different things. So now I'm reaching out to my high school buddies, college buddies that I know not that we necessarily fell off, but we just had different things going on. And, you know what I'm saying, they got their things going on, you know what I'm saying, they got their own personal things going on. So now you like back to square one. And then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just start focusing on things that I love, focusing on things that I can just distract myself with, or things that I can just tap into that will help build me up or get me better, or help me, allow me to learn a new skill. So we started this podcast, started the clothing brand, and then I just fell in love with it. And ever since then, I just started working on things that I love. I actually started doing my PR specialist stuff again. I started looking for clients, started looking for PR work, and PR is stuff that I really love to do. When I first graduated, I wanted to get my PR agency started. And then as time goes, I don't know, I guess I just learned to just, you know, stick with what I love. I don't really focus on things that throw me off or throw my balance off. If the obstacle is in my way, I figure out the solution to it and I solve it. Even though it might not be solved right then and right there, but it's a plan for it right then and right there. And then we start taking the strategic steps in solving that issue or problem. So that's the way that I looked at it. Once I found a solution, which was find somebody that you can trust, find somebody that, you know, that has a great work ethic like you, you know, and find somebody that's just down for whatever like you. Because I'm the type of person, when I see something, I just want to get it done. I don't like a whole bunch of crazy shit or a whole bunch of, you know, people trying to tell me I can't do it or just trying to limit me. And I found Kelvin. You know what I'm saying? We put our head down. We was like-minded. We both had separate things going on, but we wanted to make it work. And everything's been good ever since.
Yeah, and just to piggyback everything you're saying, Austin, is to having that abundance mindset, knowing that, you know, when times are good and bad, that, you know, you are who you are. You've came a long way. And also you'll find the people that are just like you know what I'm saying? This is the way I found Austin, you know. So going back to like maybe this year, right? You know, same kind of story in Austin, you know, I'm used to always being around people, you know, people ask me of advice, especially for like training and fitness, things like that, you know, but when COVID hit, you know, like I definitely felt that space there, you know, space because I had to be by myself. Everybody has stuff going on, so a lot of people ask me that certain kind of question. I kind of figured that I put, like, you know, Lawson said, a lot of water into other people's cups without actually doing a lot of inner search for myself. So, you know, from this past year, you know, it's been a lot of self-reflecting of like, what do I need to say to myself? What do I need to do for myself? Enough to enrich myself and to be a place that overflows to other people. Because I was thinking with opposite around, you know, it's like, let me pour so much on other people. Let me show people what I know, you know, and hopefully I get something in return. But now I'm trying to flip it over to say, hey, you know, let me enrich myself, you know, improve myself. And when it's overflowing, I'll be able to fill other people's cups and also make sure I have that circulation, like Lawson said, to make sure I'm always good too. And I always just thought, you know, taking care of myself was something kind of bad, you know, from my upbringing, you know, being humble, make sure you put people first before you. And I think I put it in the wrong context. I think I over-exerted that idea too much to the fact that I really felt like, you know, empty inside. You know, I couldn't have the things that I want. You know, if I love myself too much, then I'm being, you know, cocky or being too overconfident, things like that. But I really changed my mindset this year to make sure that, you know, making sure I'm good, that overall, the more kindness I send to myself, the more obviously I send it to other people. Because we're always a reflection of, everything's a reflection of who you are and how you feel. You know, if you don't have that kindness, that love for yourself, there's no way you can share it to your bros, you know, the people that you're dating, to anybody, because you don't have that inside. You don't even have enough for yourself, so there's no way you can even lend more. But going back to having that abundance mindset, you know, whether like things are going good, you know, everybody's in your face, you the limelight, you know, people come through all these things, business is good, you know, you get all the girls or guys, whatever it is. And with times when, you know, nothing's shaking for you, you lose everything. I think it's really just being aware of your identity, knowing that, hey, you've probably been here before, maybe not to this year, because COVID was wild as shit. And, you know, this is the wildest like year for everybody, but you've been in some type of like lack before in your life, you know, even though now it's crazy as ever, but you've been in before and you've got through it. So I think, you know, it's having that mindset and remembering that, okay, you know, I always got myself out of it. You know, I always, you know, made it happen. When this time does come when things are not doing good, you know that's not gonna be forever. And I think so too. I said put a good point out there. It's that going back to really looking at all the stuff you did. From not even from this year, but the past years, like, yo, like, yeah, I actually got stuff done. I actually am a cool person. People actually love what I'm doing. But I think sometimes that if you lean too much in that, when it's not there, you kind of forget when it's not there for say. So you just got to remember the fact that people love you is because of who you are, not because, I'm saying, the reaction you get from them. So I think, we just got to remind ourselves about that. And
That shit
going back,
crazy, bro.
yeah,
Like
shit is crazy.
you ever our podcast, for example, every time we do an interview, and we didn't interview over like 300 people now, they're like, wow, this is really great what you guys got going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then we may encounter just one person. Well, I'm speaking for me. I may encounter one person that starts talking shit about our podcast, and I just go crazy. I'm like, what the? Well, not to them. I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? Our podcast is lit. Like, what you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, what you talking
yeah,
about?
it's even to the point too. It's like, damn, that one critic. It's like, oh, then we got to change everything up.
We got to change everything up. But then you realize that, like, nah, G, like, we got to look back at our credibility, the work that we put in. Our track record. We just interviewed like 200-300 people. They was telling us how much, we'd be surprised by how much people be telling us our podcast is. And I think the reason why we're surprised because we're so focused on the little nitpicking things or the negative things. So now we stopped doing that now. We just don't care.
Yeah. Like, we just know we killing it regardless. So I think we got to have that mindset, and it's not bad to feel like, that's what I'm trying to tell myself for the last, like, during this quarantine. Like, it's not bad to take care of yourself. It's not bad to articulate the great things you're doing, because people love you for that. Even when people don't see it sometimes, that critic or like the haters, whatever you want to call it, knowing that you can still be the shit, and that's perfectly fine. You know what I'm saying? People still love you. Now everybody's gonna love you, but people still love you. So you gotta look at, looking back at how many things you did great and focus on that, because even at the end of the day, if you focus on all this credit and stuff like that, it's going to eat you alive, and you can never appease people. You can never appease people at all. Never. So literally, you'll be a dog chasing his tail. So you just got to do stuff for you, knowing that, you are doing great. You are still learning, but at the end of the day, you're going to be Gucci at the end of the day.
Another example, right? My clothing brand. So we did really good for the spring and summer, but literally from spring and summer, I stopped doing everything related to my clothing brand. And then in November, I let everybody know, hey, yeah, I'm dropping something on, Black Friday. Kelvin was literally the only one that bought something for me. So here I go. I'm starting thinking like, damn, what am I doing wrong? Like, does my clothes suck? Like, what's going on? I started panicking and stuff. And then I realized what it was. No, it's not that, Lassana. Your designs actually look better than your fall and spring, your spring line. Because I started asking people, and they was like, nah, your designs is lit. And my mom like, why y'all niggas buying that? Like, everybody, what's going on? Like, bro, literally everybody, I've asked a whole bunch of people, probably over 100 people, because I was that skeptical about my shit. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yo, why isn't nobody buying my shit? Literally everybody said, nah, I fuck with it, bro. Maybe they lying to me. I don't know why.
But still, like,
yeah, for them to say they fuck with it, like, you know what I'm saying? It's gotta be something that they like about it. So that's when I realized, like, nah, what the problem is, people probably just don't take you seriously. Like, your clothes is $45. They don't know if this is something that's gonna keep coming, if this is a brand that I'm gonna keep supporting, or this is a $45 that I'm just buying for the one time. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I realized now all I'm gonna keep doing is just being consistent with my brand, and just watch when the spring and summer come out. I'm pretty sure things are gonna get better. So that I think that's all my issue was. So when it comes down to that, I think we just gotta take less look at the negative and just start looking at the love that we already got going on, or the positive that we already got going on. And if we're able to figure that, just focus on that and figuring out what actually got us to our success the first time and just maintain that, then we'll be fine.
Great.
Okay, so this question: do you avoid putting yourself in situations that threaten your safety, physically, emotionally, and mentally?
That's what I gotta work on. I probably do that shit every day. I put myself in situations. I don't take myself out.
Now, there's of course things that, if you do this, like, you're gonna die, it's toxic, whatever.
Oh, yeah, then definitely stay away from that.
Yeah, exactly. But there's some places that you need some room for improvement. You know what I'm saying? For example, for me, I don't know what it is. Maybe because like, you know, growing up, like literally my parents literally scolded me for everything. So I kind of hated criticism. I kind of hate people telling me what to do. Like literally, like even though if I was wrong, don't tell me that shit because like I'm so used to that. Like, you know, but that's a room of improvement that, you know, I'm learning to. So what I do is sometimes like the people that give me the most tick for tack, you know, actually like make me think about my ideas. I had those conversations more because I know that's where I need to work at, you know, from my past experience. So you're talking about that sense, then, you know, I think that's perfectly fine. But if you're going blindly knowing that, okay, this person not for you, you over there like, you know, driving 100 miles an hour without your seatbelt, things that you know you're going to die from, you know, that's like, you know, just don't do that shit. But, you know, I think people just got to put themselves in more uncomfortable situations to help them grow as a person, and that's perfectly fine.
I don't know what it is with me, man. I think I have like this crazy adrenaline rush thingy. I don't know what they call that. The people that be
adrenaline rush.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
the people that be craving stuff like that. But it's not to that extent. It's like I be knowing what I be getting myself into. I just want to try shit out. I don't know why I want to try stuff out, and I know what's gonna happen. Cause I'd be like, dog, watch this happen. And I'd be like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway. And I do it and it happens. Like, like I don't know why I'm like that. But then I realize what it is with me is like I'm constantly like redefining myself. Like I see myself like, I don't know, y'all ever do molding and stuff like that? What they call that?
Oh, pottery? The pottery and
you
stuff.
ever do pottery? Yeah. I feel like I'm that. I'm the mold. Like I'm constantly on that little thing being spinned around. And I feel like at the end when I'm like settled, when I'm like ready to really ground myself and just really, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm done with everything. I feel like I'm gonna be a perfect masterpiece. Of course, I might have some spins in there that's gonna be looking ugly a little bit, but then we gotta go back in the lab. We got probably add on more clay, more water. You know what I'm saying? Get it spinning again, and then we're gonna be good. So the way I looked at it is, I don't throw myself into situations that I know that is literally gonna put me in harm's way, mentally, physically, or emotionally. But I test the waters with certain things. You know what I mean? There's certain things that I know who I am, so I know that I can't be moved. So I put myself in certain situations where I know if I test it out, I'm not going to be thrown off, or I'm not going to have any dents in me, or whatever the case may be. Now that's not necessarily true because the devil's always working. So you can't completely put yourself in situations like that when you know you're not in control, or it's not in in your realm. So I think when it comes to stuff like that, you got to be aware of what it is that you're getting into, and you can't find out who you are. You can't live the life that you want to live if you don't try shit out. So I try out mostly everything, and well, not mostly everything. I try the things that I know that are not gonna take me too much outside of my little comfort zone, or throw me off of my goals, my mindset, my mentality, my self-identity, my morals, and my values. And then if it doesn't work out, in my mind, I'm like, all right, I already knew that shit was crazy anyway, so I'm good. So that's the way I really look at it. I'm like, I already knew it wasn't going to work out anyway. I already knew that was going to be this, or, you know what I mean? I'm just more so objective when I come to think about things. I'm practical, and I see things for black and white. So if I'm getting into a situation, into a lady that she's acting a certain way, I knew the girl was fucking crazy before I started messing with her, so why am I surprised? Like, you know what I'm saying? If anything, I'm like, well, at least I ain't dead. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way that I look at it. You know what I mean?
I wrote a poem with that exact analogy about pottery and being molded. Mm-hmm. I wrote a poem with that exact analogy.
Yeah, that's dope.
So,
sometimes I don't have the right words for certain things, so I try to use as much examples as possible.
Poetic.
So, do you care about judgment? And does judgment affect you? Like,
it used to like crazy. So like growing up, right? You know what I'm saying? My parents, it was so much stuff, and I loved them for it, but there's so much stuff they corrected me on, and I needed it, but it was some shit that I just hated. Like, just like, oh, put the fork there, or, oh, wash this plate, or, oh, damn, that's not how you warm up noodles. It was the shit like that, like really that eagered me. So like I was hating the judgment and resenting it, and then the fact that I was giving so much energy, when I did get it, it was like killing my mind. And then I saw that with my friends, my family, the way I did things, the business and everything like that. So the more I grew up, you know, I try to like make sure that first, who the judgment is from, you know what I'm saying, as a big dependency how much it affects me. And also, two, that like these are all just subjective. Like, that's how somebody thinks of how I should act. So I try to remember that, you know, there's a lot of space between it. I don't have to believe it. But now, honestly, if it's not from someone that I really have I honor their opinion, someone that knows me, and someone that really wants to see me like win, you know what I'm saying? So if it's not like my parents, my close friends, long my brother, and things like that, you know, honestly, that judgment doesn't really matter to me at all. And not to say that I'm closed-minded, you know, I'm definitely open to different opinions to do things, but then again, the weight of it doesn't really hurt me that much at all. It doesn't give that much energy for real. Because the way I see it sometimes, you know, judgment sometimes, especially the ones that are really heavy, is either two things. It's like, it's really something that you need to work on, or really something that, you know what I'm saying, that you don't need at all. It's very negative. And you can really, if you do the inner work, you really figure out which one it is. And honestly, most of it is the latter. It's a lot of things that you just really believe about yourself that's wrong, but it's not really true, and someone just is saying it. So for me, if it's not from like my close friends and my family, like I don't give it a lot of energy. I'm always open to always growing and always, you know, being open-minded how to do different things. But to the point that it stops me doing something, you know, if it's not from them, then it really doesn't at all. And I think the reason why is that it's going back to that self-care. It's like you judge yourself a lot already. So now people are actually just bringing that out of you. So the reason why, you know what I'm saying, like it takes so much out of you is because like, it's something that you already believe in yourself. So when you do that inner work and know who you are, you know, it doesn't mean nothing to you unless it's somebody from your family or someone that knows you, that knows like, all right, Kelvin, like you gotta work on this shit because you wild. So right now it's like, no, unless not my bros or someone that I really trust and honor their opinion, I could really care less.
Okay. So that was the last question. Say, the purpose of me making this video is, you know, because this self-love among Black men is something that does need to be discussed. And, you know, self-love period needs to be discussed among all of us. And yeah, so I'm gonna, well, I'll let him come back in. And if he wants to answer the question, then I'll let him answer the question, and then I'm going to end the video with my outro.
Yo, my bad, y'all. Mine says 2C6. Nah, my phone died. But when it comes to judgment, well, I'm gonna just tackle two sides. I want legacy, but I don't want the limelight. Like I want to be known for doing things, but I don't want to be out there. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of things that come with it. You know, when you are in the limelight. Now, so what I mean by that is I care about the way that I'm being perceived to the world, but I don't really per se care about what people think of me. You know what I mean? Or whatever way people think or feel of me, I'm content with it, if that makes sense. And then you have the judgment wherein it's like the judgments that really hit home, the things that you really need to consider, you know, whether or not it's right or wrong, and, you know, as the friends and family, like what Kelvin said. I think those are the ones that, you know, you need to take seriously, you know, because those are the, you know, the closest people to you, they either really hate you or they really love you. So that's why it's very important to pay attention to those, because someone on the street, you know what I'm saying, will show you love, and then your family will be the ones that hate you. So I guess when it comes to their judgment or, you know, your friends and family, you should really pay attention to that, because you will know how to move. And that's how you know, when you're walking in the right limelight. If you know your family isn't really too loving, and you know you start this new business and they constantly telling you that, yeah, I don't think this is working out for you, then you know that judgment that's been passed on upon you is not the right one, and you know how to move past it. So it's not something for you to, you know, get upset about or anything like that, but just more so recognize it as, you know, for what it is, and know how to, you know, get past it. So that's the way that I look at it. I look at judgment as two things, like more so about what I'm putting out there. I care about what I'm putting out there because I want the right legacy. But when it comes to judgment, as far as like outside influences or forces, I really don't care for it. But when my friends and family tell me, I try to pay attention to.
Okay. Thanks for answering the questions, guys.
Yeah, this is a great show.
This is awesome.
And thanks for coming in. And so I'm going to end the video. That was the last question. So check out the Winner's Circle podcast on Apple and Spotify, right?
Yes. You can also give a follow
Everywhere.
on Instagram. Everywhere you listen to your podcast, you listen to us. Our IG is at WCPO LLC, so check us out. But yeah, thank you for having us on the show.
Thanks for coming in. So thanks for watching another Harmonious Mind Chat. Love, peace, blessings. See ya.
Deuces.